You felt the pain of someone leaving your life, but what if that removal was a blessing in disguise? What if it's the very thing that's setting you up for something beyond your wildest dreams? Keep listening, because this is the truth you need to hear now. The best is yet to come, and the divine hand is at work even when you can't see it. Imagine this. You've lost someone close to you, someone who you thought was going to be in your life forever. They were there through thick and thin, through highs and lows, and suddenly, they're gone. It feels like the world has been turned upside down, and you're left standing in the rubble, wondering what went wrong. The pain is real, the emptiness is deep, and the confusion makes you question everything. You think to yourself, how could something like this happen? Why is this happening to me? It's natural to grieve when we lose someone, especially if we believed they were meant to be with us for the long haul. The loss leaves a hole in your heart, and that hole may feel impossible to fill. The hurt is undeniable, and in those moments of sorrow, you might feel like you're drowning in uncertainty. You look around, and it seems as though everyone else has it together, while you're left behind, struggling to make sense of what just happened. But here's the truth that many of us don't see in the midst of our pain: that loss, that removal, is not the end of your story. In fact, it's only the beginning. It's the beginning of something greater, something you can't yet see but are about to experience. When God removes someone from your life, it is not a punishment, it is a part of a divine orchestration that's designed for your highest good. That person, that relationship, that attachment was never meant to go with you into the next chapter of your life. At first, you may not understand this. In the thick of your sorrow, it's difficult to believe that anything good could come from such a painful experience. You're left wondering why you had to go through the hurt, why this person had to be removed from your life, and why it all feels so unfair. But if you can hold on to this truth, that the divine is working behind the scenes, your perspective can shift in a way that will change your life. You see, when someone is removed from your life, it's not just a void that's left behind. That void is not empty. It is a space being created, a space that is about to be filled with something new, something better, something more aligned with your purpose. The divine hand that has taken that person away is the same hand that will fill that space with blessings you could never have imagined. The pain you're feeling right now is simply the process of preparing you for what is to come. Think about it: every time something has been taken away from you, it has always made room for something better. Whether it's a person, a job, a home, or an opportunity, the universe works in mysterious ways to realign your life with what is meant for you. The relationships, opportunities, and experiences that you thought were permanent were never guaranteed. We get attached, we grow comfortable, and we start believing that things will stay the same forever. But the truth is, nothing stays the same forever, and change is often the most beautiful blessing in disguise. When we experience loss, it's easy to get caught in the emotions of disappointment and rejection. We think, if only I had done this differently, or if only I had seen the signs sooner. But the truth is, everything that happens is part of a divine order. There are no mistakes in this universe. Every person who leaves your life, no matter how painful it may be, is leaving because they were never meant to walk with you into your future. The people who are meant to walk with you are already on their way to you. You might not be able to see it yet, but the divine is working to bring the right people into your life at the right time. This removal is a blessing because it opens up the space for new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities. Think of it like this: when you clean out a closet and get rid of things you no longer need, you create space for something better to take its place. The same is true in your life. That person who is no longer in your life was taking up space that is now available for something greater to enter. You might not know exactly what that something is yet, but rest assured, it's on its way. One of the most beautiful things about life is that, even in our moments of pain, there's a deeper purpose at work. The divine knows what we need before we even realize it ourselves. Sometimes, We hold on to relationships, jobs, or situations that are no longer serving us because we are afraid of change or because we've grown comfortable in them. But the divine doesn't let us settle. It will step in, even when we don't want it to, and make the changes necessary for our highest good. It's not about punishing us. It's about preparing us for the blessings we can't yet see. In this moment of loss, when you're feeling the weight of that void, take comfort in knowing that something better is on its way. It might not feel like it now, but the divine is always working in your favor. Trust the process. Trust that what you're going through is a setup for something greater. The pain you feel now is temporary, but the blessings that are coming are eternal. So don't look at this as an end. It's just the beginning of something new. The key to navigating this loss is surrender. Surrender to the process, surrender to the divine plan, and surrender to the fact that you don't need to understand everything right now. What you're feeling is natural, and it's okay to grieve, but don't let that grief consume you. Understand that this pain is a temporary chapter, and it's preparing you for a future that is brighter than you can imagine. You are being guided, and you are being prepared for the next step in your journey. When God removes someone from your life, it's not because you're not worthy. It's because you're worthy of something better. The person who leaves, the opportunity that passes, the chapter that closes, all of these things are leading you to the greatest blessing you could ever receive. You might not see it yet, but the divine hand that removes is the same hand that blesses. You are being prepared, even in the hardest of times, for something more incredible than you've ever imagined. Trust in that. Hold on to that faith, and know that you are being set up for the greatest blessing of your life. Nothing in life happens by accident. Every person you meet, every encounter you have, every situation you find yourself in, is all part of a divine plan, even if it doesn't always seem like it. Sometimes, we find ourselves wondering why things are happening the way they are, especially when things don't go as we expected. We question why we are facing challenges, why certain people are removed from our lives, or why doors we thought would open remain firmly shut. It's easy to think that we are victims of circumstance, that life is happening to us rather than for us. But if we can shift our perspective, we begin to understand that nothing is by chance, and everything, good or bad, is moving us closer to our true purpose. The concept of divine order is something that many of us struggle to grasp, especially when life doesn't align with our desires. We are trained to think in terms of immediate gratification, of having control over every aspect of our lives. We want things to happen on our own timeline and according to our own preferences. But the universe, or the divine, doesn't work on our timeline. It operates on a far greater scale, one that we cannot always comprehend in the moment. The divine order is not only about what happens to us, but also about what we do with what happens. When someone is removed from your life, or an opportunity passes you by, it may feel like a loss. It may seem like things are falling apart, like the universe is working against you. But in reality, this is where the divine plan becomes evident. The things that leave our lives, the people who walk away, and the opportunities that slip through our fingers are not arbitrary. They are part of a much larger, much more intricate plan. The divine knows exactly where you need to be, what you need to experience, and who you need to meet in order to fulfill your purpose. Think about it. How many times have you looked back on your life and realized that something you thought was a tragedy was actually the best thing that could have happened to you? How many times have you been in a situation where you thought everything was falling apart, only to realize later that it was simply the universe clearing a path for something greater? The people who leave your life, the jobs that don't work out, and the relationships that don't last are not punishments. They are opportunities in disguise, guiding you towards something that is more aligned with your purpose and your destiny. In our lives, we often become attached to things and people that we think are integral to our happiness. We believe that without certain people, certain things, or certain circumstances, we cannot move forward. We hold on to relationships, jobs, and situations that we've outgrown because they feel comfortable or familiar. We may even fear change, not understanding that change is often a necessary step in our growth. But the universe doesn't allow us to remain stagnant. When the divine sees that something no longer serves us, it removes it from our lives, even when we aren't ready to let go. And though it may be painful in the moment, it is only creating the space needed for something better to enter. The divine plan is always for our highest good, even when we can't see it. There is a greater purpose to everything, and even when we don't understand why things are happening the way they are, we must trust that they are moving us in the direction we need to go. The divine doesn't make mistakes. Everything that is happening right now, everything that has happened in the past, and everything that will happen in the future is part of a plan that has been designed specifically for us. Even when we can't see the bigger picture, we must trust that the universe is working on our behalf. When things don't go as we expect, it's important to remember that the universe isn't punishing us. Instead, it is shifting things around us so that we can be aligned with our true path. Sometimes, we need to be redirected. Sometimes we need to be redirected harshly. The relationships that we hold on to, the dreams we cling to, and the paths we pursue are not always the ones that will lead us to where we need to go. The divine order knows this, and it will intervene when necessary to ensure that we are on the right track. Sometimes, the people in our lives who are meant to walk with us for a season are removed to make room for those who will walk with us for a lifetime. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people come into our lives to teach us lessons, to help us grow, or to guide us in the right direction. Once those lessons are learned, or once they've fulfilled their purpose, they may leave, and that's okay. It's important to recognize that their departure is not a reflection of your worth or your value. It is simply part of the natural ebb and flow of life. When someone leaves, it's not a personal rejection, it's the universe making space for something better. Trust that the divine will bring the right people into your life at the right time. Similarly, when opportunities slip away or don't come to fruition, it's not a sign of failure or inadequacy. Often, these closed doors are a blessing in disguise, protecting us from paths that wouldn't have served us in the long run. The divine sees what we cannot see. What we might perceive as a setback may, in fact, be a protection, a redirection to something greater. We may not always understand the timing or the reasons, but we must trust that the universe has a plan for us. And as we continue on our journey, we will see how the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. The divine plan is always unfolding in our favor, even when we cannot perceive it. Every twist and turn, every challenge and setback, is part of a greater story that we are being guided through. If we can trust in that plan, if we can trust that there is something greater at work behind the scenes, we will begin to see how everything falls into place. We will begin to understand that the things that didn't work out, the people who left, and the opportunities that passed us by were simply part of a divine orchestration, leading us toward our highest good. We are all part of a larger story, and the universe is constantly moving us toward the fulfillment of our purpose. The divine knows what we need and when we need it. We must trust in the process and trust that everything is happening for a reason. The people, the places, and the circumstances that enter our lives are all part of a divine plan, and we must have faith that we are being guided every step of the way. Trust in the divine order, for it will always lead us to where we need to be. When God removes someone from your life, it's not simply a void that is left behind. It is a space, a place where something new, something better, is about to enter. This idea is difficult to understand, especially in moments of pain or loss. In those times, when someone we love or care about walks away or is taken from us, we often feel like something irreplaceable has been lost. We grieve, we question, and we wonder how we can go on without them. The truth, however, is that this loss is not an end, but a beginning. It is the universe making room for something new to enter into your life, something that aligns more deeply with who you are becoming and where you are meant to go. The process of release, though painful, is necessary for growth. When we hold on to the old, whether it's a person, a job, a situation, or even a belief, we are holding ourselves back from new possibilities. We may not realize it in the moment, but by keeping these things in our lives, we are actually blocking the flow of new energy, opportunities, and experiences that are meant to elevate us to the next level. Just like a plant that has outgrown its pot, we too need to be replanted in a space where we can continue to grow. And sometimes, the removal of someone or something from our lives is the catalyst for this growth. It clears the path for us to expand and evolve in ways that we may have never anticipated. In the natural world, when an old tree falls, it creates space for new growth. New plants can grow in the rich soil left behind, and the forest begins to thrive in new ways. The same principle applies to our lives. When someone leaves or something ends, it's not the universe working against us. It's making way for something better to come in. We often hold on to the past because we are afraid of change, afraid of the unknown. But change is the very thing that allows us to evolve. The divine doesn't want us to stay stuck in old patterns or relationships that no longer serve us. It wants us to step into our full potential, and sometimes that requires clearing away the things that keep us rooted in the past. The idea of release is deeply tied to trust. Trusting that the universe has a plan for us, and that whatever is being removed is not meant for us, can be difficult, especially when we are emotionally attached. But when we let go, we make room for new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities that are a better fit for our evolving selves. Trusting in the divine process doesn't mean that we won't experience pain. It means that we have faith that our pain is temporary, and that something better is waiting for us on the other side. We must trust that the things being removed from our lives were never truly meant to stay forever. They were meant to serve a purpose, to teach us a lesson, and once that purpose has been fulfilled, it's time for them to go. Think about your own life. How many times have you experienced a loss, only to later realize that it was the best thing that could have happened to you? Perhaps a job that seemed like the perfect opportunity ended unexpectedly, or a relationship that you thought would last forever came to an end. In those moments of loss, it felt like the ground was being ripped out from under you. But when you look back, you can see that those losses created the space for better things to enter. That unexpected job loss pushed you to pursue your passion, which led to an even greater career. That relationship that ended cleared the path for someone better suited to your life to come into the picture. Sometimes, we need to experience the discomfort of release in order to make room for our highest good. There's a certain beauty in the process of releasing. It is a surrender, an acknowledgement that we don't have control over everything, and that sometimes the best thing we can do is let go and allow the universe to work its magic. Releasing is not a passive act, but an active choice to trust in the flow of life. It's a choice to believe that something greater is coming, something more aligned with who we truly are and what we are meant to experience. And when we trust this process, we open ourselves up to new blessings that were previously unavailable to us. When you allow yourself to let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for things that are in alignment with your higher purpose. This is not always an easy thing to do, especially when you are attached to the past. But think about how much more you can achieve, how much more you can experience, when you let go of the old and make room for the new. The universe is always moving us toward our highest good, and when we let go, we are giving it the space to do so. It's like opening the door to new possibilities, new blessings, and new growth that we could never have imagined when we were holding on too tightly to the past. Release is not about forgetting. It's not about denying the importance of the people or experiences that have been in our lives. It's about acknowledging that these things served their purpose and that it is time for something new to take their place. The things we release are not necessarily bad, they just no longer align with where we are going. Sometimes, people come into our lives for a season, to teach us something, to help us grow, and once that season is over, it's time to move on. It's not a reflection of their worth, nor is it a reflection of ours. It is simply a part of the natural flow of life. Think about a house that is being renovated. Old walls are torn down to make way for new ones. The old structure is cleared so that a new, better one can be built in its place. Similarly, when something or someone is removed from our lives, it's clearing space for the new foundation to be laid. And though the process may be messy, it's part of the creation of something more beautiful. Trust that the space that has been created is there for a reason. It's there for something better to fill it, something that is more aligned with the person you are becoming. The process of release is deeply personal, and it's something that requires patience and trust. It requires us to believe that the divine knows what is best for us, even when we don't fully understand it. And it requires us to have faith that what we are being led toward is greater than what we are being asked to let go of. When we can trust in this process, we allow ourselves to grow and evolve in ways that we never thought possible. The removal of something or someone is not the end, it is the beginning of something new. It is a process of growth, and through that growth, we create the space for blessings that are in perfect alignment with who we truly are. It is often said that timing is everything, and when we truly understand this concept, we begin to see how perfectly orchestrated life really is. The divine order, the universe, or whatever higher power we believe in, works in ways that go far beyond our immediate comprehension. We may struggle with understanding why things happen when they do, or why certain events unfold in a way that doesn't seem to match our desires or expectations. Yet, if we can begin to trust in the timing of life, we will start to realize that every step, every delay, every detour, is all part of a larger, divine plan that is perfectly aligned with our highest good. We are living in a world that constantly pushes us to move faster, do more, and achieve everything at once. Instant gratification has become the norm, with technology, media, and society feeding into our desire to have everything right now. Whether it's in our careers, relationships, or personal growth, we often feel the pressure to have everything figured out and perfected without delay. But the divine timing of things is not bound by these artificial timelines. The universe does not rush, and when we understand that everything happens in its own perfect time, we begin to see that there is a rhythm to life that can bring us exactly what we need when we need it. When we look at the big picture, it becomes clear that timing is never random. We may not always understand why something is delayed, or why it seems like things aren't falling into place, but that doesn't mean that the divine isn't working behind the scenes. Often, what we perceive as a delay or a setback is actually an opportunity for preparation, for growth, or for redirection. The people, circumstances, and opportunities that come into our lives may not always show up at the moment we expect them to, but they always show up exactly when we are ready for them. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't plant a seed one day and expect it to bloom the next. There is a waiting period, a time for growth beneath the surface before it can break through the earth and show its full potential. The same is true for our lives. There are times when we must go through a season of growth, a period where we are being prepared for what is coming. This is when the divine is working on us, shaping us, teaching us lessons that will allow us to fully receive the blessings that are on their way. And while we may not always see this growth happening, it's important to trust that the timing is right. We often get frustrated with the wait. We wonder why things aren't happening as quickly as we hoped, or why we are being forced to wait for something we deeply desire. It is human nature to want things now, but the truth is that some things take time. They require patience, nurturing, and growth. And when we try to rush the process, we often miss the lessons that are meant to be learned along the way. These lessons, which come in the form of challenges, disappointments, and delays, are the very things that will prepare us for the success we seek. Without them, we would not be ready to handle the blessings that are being prepared for us. Have you ever noticed that some of the most significant moments in life happen when we least expect them? Sometimes, We spend so much time working towards a particular goal, focusing on how we think things should unfold, that we miss the opportunities that arise when the timing is right. The universe, in its wisdom, knows exactly when to bring things into our lives, and just when we think we are at a dead end or have exhausted all options, something happens. A new door opens, a new opportunity arises, or a new person enters our lives, and suddenly everything starts to fall into place. This is why trust in divine timing is so important. It's not about waiting idly for things to happen, but about knowing that the right things will come at the right time. It's about being open to the opportunities that arise, even if they don't come in the way we thought they would. Life is not a straight path, and often, the detours are what lead us to exactly where we need to be. We are so focused on the end result that we forget to appreciate the journey that is unfolding before us. Sometimes, we look around and see others who seem to have everything we want. Relationships, success, financial freedom, happening quickly and effortlessly for them. This can lead to feelings of frustration or jealousy, as we wonder why our lives aren't progressing as fast as theirs. But what we don't see is that everyone's journey is unique, and each person's timing is different. The truth is that no one's life is a perfect, linear progression. Everyone faces challenges, delays, and setbacks. It just looks different from the outside. Trusting in divine timing means understanding that your journey is uniquely yours, and it will unfold in its own time. Your purpose, your blessings, and your success are not defined by someone else's timeline. You are on your own path, and it will take the time it needs to reach its fullest potential. The more you trust the process and the timing of your life, the more you will begin to see that things are unfolding exactly as they should. What might seem like a delay is often the universe preparing you for what's to come. Consider how things in nature work. Trees don't grow overnight, and flowers don't bloom instantly. There is a time for everything to grow, expand, and thrive. In our lives, we too must go through our own seasons of growth, where we are being shaped and molded for the blessings that are to come. There is no rush in this process. The universe knows the exact moment when we are ready to step into our purpose and receive the abundance that has been set aside for us. And when we finally step into that moment, we will see how perfectly the timing has worked. One of the keys to trusting divine timing is to let go of the need to control everything. When we try to force things to happen according to our own plan, we are only creating resistance. We are telling the universe that we don't trust its timing and that we know better. But when we release this need for control and allow life to unfold naturally, we open ourselves up to the perfect timing of the universe. We let go of the pressure to have everything figured out right now, and we trust that the right people, opportunities, and blessings will show up when we are ready for them. Patience is often one of the hardest virtues to practice, especially in a world that thrives on instant results. But when we are able to surrender to the timing of life, we experience a sense of peace that comes from knowing that everything is working in our favor. We learn to embrace the present moment rather than constantly striving for the future. And as we do so, we find that the things we desire are more likely to show up naturally, without the struggle and resistance that often accompany our attempts to control the timing. Divine timing is not about passively waiting for things to happen. It's about actively participating in the process of life, trusting that everything will come in its own time. It's about being open to the opportunities that arise, even if they don't look the way we expected them to. The more we trust in the process, the more we allow ourselves to be guided toward the right people, places, and circumstances that are in alignment with our highest good. When we release the need to control and embrace divine timing, we are allowing the universe to work its magic in our lives. And when we do, we find that the timing is always perfect. We often find ourselves in moments where life feels uncertain and we are left questioning which direction to take or how to move forward. In those moments of doubt or confusion, we may feel alone, unsure of our next steps. Yet in the stillness and uncertainty, there is a powerful truth that can guide us. The divine is always guiding us, even when we can't see it. It's not always clear how or when the guidance will come, but it is always there, quietly leading us toward our highest good. At times it may seem as though we are walking blindly, with no clear sense of direction. We may be faced with challenges or decisions that leave us feeling lost, overwhelmed, or unsure of what to do next. The weight of these moments can feel unbearable, and it's easy to get caught in the feeling of being stuck or at a crossroads. But the truth is, we are never truly alone, and we are never without guidance. The divine is always with us, offering us direction, even when it doesn't seem obvious. All we need to do is listen. The power of divine guidance is often subtle, sometimes appearing in small nudges or quiet whispers that we may overlook. It may not always come in the form of a loud, dramatic moment, but rather as a gentle pull in a certain direction, a feeling in your gut that tells you where to go, or a sense of peace about a decision that doesn't make sense at first. Learning to recognize and trust this guidance requires us to cultivate stillness within ourselves. It requires us to slow down, quiet the noise around us, and listen to the whispers of our intuition. It requires faith that, even when we don't understand the path, the divine knows where we need to go and will guide us there. One of the most important things to understand about divine guidance is that it's not always about knowing the entire path ahead. We often want clear answers, a full map of where we are going, and a detailed plan to follow. But the divine doesn't always give us that. Instead, it asks us to trust the next step. It offers us the wisdom to move forward one step at a time, even if we can't see the entire journey laid out before us. This is where faith comes in. Faith that even though the way is unclear, we are being guided to exactly where we need to be. When we are open to divine guidance, we are shown the opportunities, paths, and people that will help us fulfill our purpose. It may not always make sense at the time, and sometimes we might find ourselves questioning why certain things are happening. We might find ourselves doubting if we are on the right track, but the divine is not limited by our understanding or our timelines. It knows what we need, even when we don't. And as we continue on the journey, we will begin to see how all the pieces fall into place. We may not always see the bigger picture, but the divine sees it clearly. Trusting divine guidance means letting go of the need to control every outcome. It means surrendering to the flow of life, trusting that the universe is leading us to exactly where we need to be. Control can often feel comforting, as it gives us the illusion that we can manage every aspect of our lives. But true peace and clarity come when we release this need for control and trust in something greater than ourselves. When we let go of the need to have everything figured out, we create the space for divine guidance to step in. This guidance comes in many forms. Sometimes it comes through people, through the words or actions of others that lead us toward the right decisions. Other times, it comes through our inner knowing, a gut feeling that tells us when something is right or wrong. And sometimes, divine guidance comes through the circumstances of our lives. A door may close unexpectedly, leading us to a better opportunity. A relationship may end, making space for a healthier connection to form. These moments, although they may be painful or confusing at the time, are often part of the divine plan to guide us toward what is best for us. The key to recognizing and following divine guidance is to stay present. When we are caught up in the past or anxious about the future, it can be hard to hear the quiet whispers of the divine. But when we are fully present in the moment, we can tune in to the guidance that is always available to us. This requires a certain level of trust, a trust that even in the midst of uncertainty, we are being led exactly where we need to go. It requires surrendering to the process of life, knowing that not everything will make sense immediately, but trusting that it will unfold in its own time. It is also important to remember that divine guidance doesn't always follow a straight line. We may face setbacks, challenges, or moments of confusion. There may be times when we feel as though we have veered off course or made mistakes. But the divine is not limited by our missteps. It will always redirect us, gently and lovingly, to the right path. These moments are not signs that we are lost, but opportunities for growth and redirection. Every twist and turn on the journey is a part of the divine plan to bring us closer to our true purpose. Sometimes, divine guidance comes in the form of obstacles. It can be difficult to understand why certain things happen, especially when they are painful or challenging. But even in the face of difficulty, there is often a lesson to be learned. These challenges are not punishments, but opportunities for growth. They are part of the divine process of shaping us, of preparing us for what lies ahead. The more we trust in the process, the more we are able to see the blessings in disguise that these challenges bring. As we grow and evolve, so too does our ability to recognize divine guidance. The more we listen to our inner voice, the more we trust the subtle nudges and feelings that guide us, the stronger our connection to the divine becomes. It is a relationship that grows over time, built on trust and faith. And as we cultivate this relationship, we become more attuned to the guidance that is always available to us. We begin to trust that, no matter what happens, we are being led exactly where we need to be. In moments of doubt, when we feel unsure of where to go or what to do, we can take comfort in knowing that we are not alone. The divine is always guiding us, leading us toward the highest good, even when we can't see it. Our job is to stay open, to trust the process, and to take the next step with faith, knowing that the divine has already paved the way for us. When we find ourselves in moments of uncertainty, we often seek reassurance that the path we're on is the right one. We wonder if we are truly on the road that leads to our destiny, and if the journey we are taking will ultimately bring us to the blessings we've been hoping for. It's in these moments that we must remember an essential truth. The blessings we seek are already on their way to us, even if they haven't yet manifested in our lives. What we may not always realize is that the space we have right now, the quiet, the waiting, the discomfort, is exactly where the divine is working to prepare us for what's to come. When God removes someone, something, or some situation from our lives, it can feel like a loss, and often, it's difficult to understand the purpose behind it. We may feel heartbroken, confused, or uncertain of what the future holds. But if we can shift our perspective, we will see that these moments of removal are not the end of our story. They are simply part of a divine process that is clearing the way for our blessings to unfold. The space that has been created is a sacred place where new opportunities, people, and experiences are ready to enter. What feels like an absence is actually a preparation for something far greater than we could have imagined. The divine, in its infinite wisdom, knows what we need even when we do not. The things that are taken from us, or the people who leave our lives, are often the very things that were holding us back from stepping into the full abundance that is waiting for us. These moments of loss are not punishments, but rather, divine interventions designed to realign us with our highest good. It is in these times of emptiness and grief that the divine is creating room for something more aligned with our true path. We may not see it now, but the blessings that are coming to us are already on their way, and they are being perfectly timed to meet us at the right moment. The process of receiving our blessings requires patience and faith. Often, we are so focused on the end goal that we forget to appreciate the steps along the way. But the journey itself is a crucial part of the blessing. The waiting, the trusting, and the preparation all contribute to the ultimate gift that we will receive. It's easy to get discouraged during times of uncertainty, but we must remember that blessings are not always immediate. Sometimes, the best things take time to manifest, and the waiting period is where we grow, where we learn, and where we build the strength needed to fully embrace the blessings that are coming. Think about the times in your life when things didn't go as planned, when relationships ended, opportunities slipped away, or you found yourself in situations that didn't seem to make sense. At the time, it may have felt like a setback, a failure, or a loss. But now, looking back, you can see that those moments were pivotal. They were the very things that helped shape you into the person you are today. Without those experiences, you wouldn't have been prepared for the blessings that came afterward. And the same will be true for every future blessing in your life. Every moment of pain, Every season of waiting, and every time you had to let go of something or someone was a necessary step in preparing you for the abundance that is about to unfold. The truth is, the divine doesn't take things away from us without replacing them with something better. When something is removed from your life, it's not gone forever. It's simply making space for something more aligned with your growth, your purpose, and your potential. The blessings that are coming are not the same as the ones that have left. They are different, and they are meant to bring you to the next level of your life. While we may grieve what we've lost, we must remember that the divine has already prepared something greater for us. It is up to us to remain open to receiving it. During times of removal and waiting, it's important to trust in the divine timing of everything. We may want things to happen on our terms, in the way we envision them, and in the time we think is right. But the divine knows far more than we do about what we truly need and when we need it. The divine has a plan for us that is far greater than anything we could imagine, and part of that plan involves waiting for the perfect moment to receive our blessings. The moment when we are ready, when we have grown, and when we have aligned ourselves with the highest version of ourselves. In these moments of waiting, we are being prepared for what's to come, and when the time is right, the blessings will pour in, and we will understand why we had to go through the waiting period to receive them. The space that has been created by the removal of something or someone is sacred. It is not empty, even if it feels that way. This space is filled with possibility, potential, and the energy of new opportunities. The divine is always working behind the scenes to bring us the things that are in alignment with our purpose. When we trust this process, we begin to see the magic unfold in our lives. We begin to notice the doors that are opening, the people that are coming into our lives, and the opportunities that are presenting themselves. And as we step into these blessings, we see that they are exactly what we needed, even if we didn't know it before. Sometimes, we get so attached to the things and people that have been in our lives for a long time that we forget to consider what could be waiting for us just around the corner. But the divine is always moving us forward, always guiding us toward greater abundance. And sometimes, in order to step into that abundance, we must release the old and make space for the new. This release is not an act of rejection. It is an act of love, of trust, and of faith in the divine plan. The blessings that are coming are not about replacing what was lost. They are about bringing something new that is even better than what we could have imagined. We must also remember that the divine doesn't just give us blessings for the sake of giving us things. The blessings that are coming are meant to help us fulfill our purpose and align with our highest good. The divine knows the desires of our heart, but it also knows what is best for us in the long run. The things that are being prepared for us are not just material possessions or fleeting pleasures. They are the things that will bring us lasting fulfillment, joy, and peace. And when we are in alignment with these blessings, we will see how perfectly they fit into our lives, how they fill the voids that were once left by what was removed, and how they lead us to a place of greater peace and purpose. The key to receiving these blessings is to stay open. Stay open to the possibility that something better is coming. Stay open to the idea that the best is yet to come. And as you stay open, trust that the divine is working behind the scenes to bring everything into alignment. The blessings that are coming are waiting for you, and they are exactly what you need to step into the next phase of your life. Trust the process, trust the divine timing, and know that the best is yet to come. In moments of uncertainty and loss, it's important to remember that everything happens for a reason. When something or someone is removed from our lives, it is not a sign of defeat, but a divine redirection, preparing the way for something greater. The space left behind is not empty. It is an opportunity for blessings to enter. Divine guidance is always at work, even when we can't see it, and the universe is constantly aligning people, opportunities, and experiences to bring us to our highest good. Trust in the timing of your life. Each delay, setback, and change is part of a larger plan, and the divine timing behind it all is perfect. Sometimes, The most challenging moments are simply preparations for the abundant blessings that are waiting just around the corner. Trust that these blessings are already on their way and that, as you surrender to the divine process, you are being led exactly where you need to be. Your journey is unfolding in its own time, and every step, no matter how difficult it may seem in the moment, is guiding you toward your ultimate purpose. Embrace the process, have faith in what is yet to come, and open yourself to the incredible blessings that are waiting for you. You are always being guided, always being prepared, and always being led to exactly what you need at the perfect time.